Hi, I'm Graham from the Eco Range Cooker Company. If you have purchased or are thinking of buying a pellet cooker, this is a short video to show you the basic maintenance and the de-ashing of the appliance. With the cooker, I supply a small kit. 2 pieces of wood, 2 handles, a 5mm Allen screw, and very importantly, a tube of grease. This is copper slip or copper ease, or you can use a high temperature grease. They come in very convenient little tubes, so you can pick them up at Halfords or any car shop. You will also need, if you have a soot door, you will need a screwdriver to remove it. If you have a flue balancer, you just literally pull the front off. You will also need a vacuum cleaner. This is quite important, and you can either use your household vacuum cleaner, but always use an ash can with it. This stops the ash is incredibly fine and it will go into your vacuum cleaner and clog it up. So you put it via an ash can first. Alternatively, I bought this one, which I use from Screwfix, for £40, and you can buy bags for just over £1 each. And the bag acts as a fine filter, and when you've finished, you can just take the bag out and throw it away without dust getting everywhere. Also remember to turn it off the cooker quite a while before you're going to vacuum, because the ash in the bottom can glow for some time and you will ignite it inside the vacuum cleaner. So always turn it off, preferably the night before, either by turning the thermostat to 0 or by turning the clock to the off position. You could also turn it off at the mains to be double certain. Okay, there are 3 areas that need sweeping. At the bottom of the flue pipe there is what's called a rubble trap or soot trap. There's a box there, so if anything does come down the chimney, it won't stop the flow of gases up the chimney. To get to this, we simply remove the soot door, or if you have a flue balancer, which a lot have now, you just pull the front of the flue balancer carefully off. You can now drop the vacuum cleaner down the tube. Usually I take the end off and literally just drop it down when it's running. I won't turn it on because it will be very noisy. You do that. That's one area. The second area is underneath the hot plate or on top of the ovens. Because the gases come up and over, they slow down. So they tend to drop their ash on top of this oven. And this is quite an important one because it will insulate the oven, and so you'll start to get a very hot plate but a cooler oven. Simply use the Allen key to remove the screws. Set to one side. Having removed the Allen screws, we can pick up our 2 handles and they simply screw in place where the Allen key was. 1, 2. Don't need to go in that far, simply like that. This is where the wood comes in very useful to save your back. This is very heavy and you're leaning in an awkward position. But by using a piece of wood, we can just lift one end, slide the wood underneath, and we're safe. We can then lift the other end up, slide that piece of wood underneath, and we're free the black hob, so we won't damage it in any way. You can then carefully slide this forward, making sure the wood stays there. You can now see the top of the oven, and I don't know if you can see there is a little bit of dust on this one, but I haven't done it that long ago so this dust should be vacuumed off. And the same this side. there's a little bit more on this side. When you've done that, obviously simply slide it back. And then lift your wood out one piece at a time. They are a bit dirty, so be careful. Take your handles out. And with the Allen key you can line the holes up. Very important now, always put a bit of grease on the screws. That way they will not seize up. You only need a tiny piece, but it makes life very easy the next time you come to take them off. These have been on and off probably 20 times now in the last 4 years. And simply it should go as easy as that. There's no need to over tighten, just take it down and pinch it. Down and pinch it half a turn. Job done. So we've vacuum cleaned out there, we've cleaned the tops of the oven, and the third and final place is the actual ash pit down here. The third and final place to vacuum is the ash pit. You simply open this door. On yours you will have 2 Allen screws. This one I've got a hinge because I showed customers, and I can just open it. And inside you will see ash. You simply have to just suck out the worst. Don't have to get it all out, 80–90% each time. And you'll take the worst off the top and round the back. And it's as simple as that. That is all. When you've done that, put some more copper slip on your screws just to help, and you can turn the cooker back on and run it again. That's all the maintenance. It's about 5 to 10 minutes. The question I'm always asked is how often we have to do this. It's a very tricky question to answer because it depends on the ash content of the pellets you're using and how much you are using. It's looking like it's coming out at about 100 hours of use. And this is registered on the control panel, which I don't think will come up on the video. But if you look at your control panel and you go down a button, it will come to service 1 or operating time. And that is the actual hours the burner has run. So you might have it on 10 hours a day, but the burner will actually only be running for about 2 of those because it comes on and off. So you can make a note of the operating time that you start, and then when it gets to about 100 hours, check it out for ash, particularly on the top of the oven. If you find there's not a lot, next time leave it 150. But if you go to a new supplier, check it out again at 100, because that batch of pellets might be slightly ashier than the last one. Pellets only produce 2% ash on average, but the difference between 2% or 1% and 3% is 100%. So a 3% ash will be producing a lot more ash than a 2 or a 1%. So it's a very tricky question to answer. Always best to look inside and look under the hot plate. You don't want to build up more than about 10 millimeters, 10 to 12 millimeters or half an inch of ash on top of the oven. And that's it. That's all you have to do for the pellet cooker on a regular basis. There is a further video will show the next stage of maintenance, and you can look at that for the further slightly trickier one, but we'll go into a different video. Thank you very much. Bye bye.